Stay tuned at the end of the video for a very special announcement. So a few months ago, I uploaded a short talking about Pokemon Path to the Peak, an online animated series talking about the Pokemon trading card game. I originally planned to leave it at that, but then the first episode aired and it gave me a lot to talk about. This was originally going to be a first impressions, but I got busy and the series concluded. So this is going to be a full review instead. Pokemon Path to the Peak is an animated mini-series about the Pokemon trading card game. Okay, well I say about the trading card game, but the game itself does take a backseat on more than one occasion. It's less about the TCG and more about the characters that play it. The show stars Ava, a sad young girl who moved to a new town. Her father tells her that her school is hosting a club day and she should go and check it out if she wants to meet new people. It goes less than great until someone leaves a note on her lunch table. This note leads her to the Pokemon Club, where Joshua, an eager TCG enthusiast, challenges her to a battle. She remembers a collection of old Pokemon cards her mom used to have and heads back to home to find them. She returns only to have Josh absolutely whoop her. Ava heads home, upset at the loss, and goes to throw away her Pokemon cards as a show of rebellion. She's stopped by her dad, who tells her his secret to playing the game. He likes to imagine himself as a Pokemon trainer, and the cards he plays as his friends. This scene is really well done. It lays the foundation for the rest of the show, sets up how Ava fights, and sets up a little visual motif that will be used for the rest of the show's fight scenes, and even displays the message of the entire show, being that it's important that you make sure you're having fun while you play. The message will be expanded upon when we get to episode 4. With that knowledge, Ava goes back to the club room, beats Joshua as well as the rest of the club apparently. She joins the Pokemon Club, but not before being challenged at regionals by the next major opponent, Celestine. I said that in my shorts this was a lot like Yu-Gi-Oh!, and that was when this series first aired, but I still think that is the case, although I do have to add an asterisk. This show is like Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode 1, where the characters are just school students and Duel Monsters is just a game, and not the means to cause the world to end, which honestly is really nice. A lot of these battle anime forget to take into account that while it's fun to watch people save the world using your card game, it can be just as engaging to watch the personal struggles of a character as they just get better at the game. As someone who used to play the card game, it's nice seeing the casual acquirement of skill being represented here. That being said, the absolute funniest part of this show is that while this show doesn't deal in life or death matters, the characters treat it like that is the case. To them, this is the most important thing in the world. Characters go viral for playing really well. When Team Phalanx enters the scenes, they have their own uniforms, as well as making their entrance known to everyone at the card shop. They even have fangirls. There's a scene where Celestine challenges Ava's dad to a match, and the rest of the characters treat it like she just crossed some sort of major line. Like, girl, what's really gonna happen if he loses? He's got taxes and raising you to worry about. This card game doesn't even really matter to him when he actually played it.
There are no stakes involved in this duel. Even if you lost this card game, nothing would change at all.
Wait, what's that now? I could lose?
It also plays really well into the show's message, that being winning is great, but make sure you have fun while you're doing it. One of the reasons I really love Ava's dad as a character is that while the rest of the cast just treats this game with grave seriousness, he's just vibing the entire time. Happy to just be there. It's kind of the show's way of pulling back the curtain on the whole thing. See, one thing I really liked about that scene I mentioned earlier is that he's not just teaching Ava how to win, he's teaching her how he used to have fun with the game. He even adds a little line at the end that I think is genius. He's explaining that he would have had a lot more fun whenever he would play like this. And he even says, I even won a few matches. Not I won every time or I was the best, but I won a few. He was having fun even while he was losing. This is the major theme throughout the story, even being represented by the series' major antagonist, Edgar Troy, a character who only cares about winning.
Just one question, Ava. Why play if not to win?
One flaw I will say about this show is that Ava does have this weird plot armor. Because it's a short show, they do condense a lot into these episodes. So by the end of the first episode, the main character's already heading to regionals, and by the end of the series, attending world championships. She just learned about the rules, and after one loss, she suddenly dominates everyone in her club. I know this is probably a symptom of only having 4 12-minute episodes, but they should have maybe slowed down the pacing of the show a bit. They could have achieved the same effect by, instead of regionals, having the crew attend a local card shop for their first tournament. Maybe instead of world championships, have it end with her winning the local circuit, and these guys could all just be shop regulars. I'd love a series like that. I kinda get why they did this. At this level of play, you're more likely to get lost in the sauce, but still, if they make another one or get a full series, feel free to use that idea. Another clever thing they do to pull back the curtain is that each character starts out as an antagonist, but by the end of their retrospective episode, they become Ava's friend. I especially really like this with Celestine. The show introduces her as this major hurdle for the characters. Like, she's good, and she's not shy about letting you know that. She psychs Ava out by boasting about her deck, and by telling Ava to meet her at regionals. But here's the thing, she's not mean, she's not a bully, she's just competitive. And at the end of the day, she's just looking for a challenge. Because, after all, that's the thing that keeps this game fresh, is friends to play with and interesting challenges. Pokemon Path to the Peak is a character-focused show, which is the biggest strength, but also the catalyst to some of its major weaknesses. I'm not the only one who looked at this show thinking it was going to be an actual deep dive into the TCG. You know, showing the full extent of matches, maybe delving into some major strategies that have won tournaments like this before, TCG player cameos. Was that last one just me? My point is that it just isn't. We do get beautiful fight scenes as Ava imagines the battles going on before her, but we get that instead of the play-by-play of the actual match. We get flashes of the actual cards being played, but that really doesn't help in this regard either. We get quick shots of the cards used to win, but not much else in the way of strategy. She won with an Oddish. Great. I'd like to know how. I must emphasize that I don't think this distracts from the show being great. The characters are fun and charming, the jokes land, and the fight scenes, while not being very strategic, are all very intense and enjoyable to watch. I highly, highly recommend you check out this show, and it's free on YouTube, as well as being short, so you don't really have an excuse. And if you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments below. Any engagement really goes a long way in helping this channel. I'm working on a major video this year. I'll be reviewing the entirety of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe. It won't be my next video as I still have a long way to go, but I've been working on it in my off time. Alright, announcement time. So, for the past 6 months, I've been working with a group called Ephemeral Cube. We've been working on this game called Project Teamy Sasha's Curse. It's a puzzle platformer similar to the likes of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, but combined with the rhythmic intensity of Cryptid the Necrodancer. The story is written by yours truly. If any of that sounds interesting to you, I've left a bunch of links in the description, all directing you to ways that you can support the project. You can follow the project on TikTok or YouTube for dev updates or fun videos of the demo. You can wishlist the game on Steam. You'll be notified when the game or demos of it release. You could follow us on Twitter and receive updates that way. I'm working with some amazing people here, great devs, wonderful artists, and phenomenal musicians. It is an extreme honor to have my talents be featured among so many of these great creators who continue to inspire me daily. So I repeat, if any of what you're seeing sounds interesting to you, please support the project. It would mean a lot to my team and I, as well as giving you something cute and fun to play. It's a win-win. See you on the next video, whatever that may be.
Understand the secrets and have some fun. So you want to be a master of Pokemon? Do you have the skills to